Hello everyone. This is part one of a series in which I'll be playing 10-minute rapid games and I'll be trying to reach 2000 rating as soon as possible. So here I'll just start a new game. My priority is not to reach 2000 as quickly as possible because this is not quite a speed run, but I want to be as instructive as possible and go through all the moves. Okay, so we have e4, move 1. I personally play the Karagan inspired by Gotham chess. So I'm gonna start with c6. Okay, so we have knight c3, and if we play d5, just playing a normal Karakan, they're probably gonna play this or the two knights. These are the main stuff. Okay, that's quite a weird move. I think taking is a move. We can maybe make the knight move again or whatever. Knight f6 is also a move. I think knight f6 looks good because of e5, we can drop our knight back, and after they play a move like d4, we're transposing into a Caro-Kann advanced variation, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. So knight f6. I don't quite know my opponent's rating because I this is my first game on chess.com on this account, and for the first 5 games I won't know my rating. Take back because um, this is now like a exchange Caro-Kann with like some weird moves. Okay, I don't see a reason not to develop our knight. We're probably playing someone who's like 600 or something, so 600, maybe even 400. So beginner principles are still very good. Like we just bring the knights out, have a decent center, defended well by the knight and the queen. Also, we still have the two pawns, like these two central pawns, whereas white only has one central pawn. And also, we're threatening to develop our bishop with tempo on the queen. Beginners tend to usually move their queen out early, and it's usually not a good thing because the queen here is a target and it doesn't really have anything to do. So, like, the queen here is useless, and the queen is really supposed to stay on the d1 square unless if it really has like a good reason to come out early. In this case, there is no good reason. And I think we can start exploiting the fact that the queen is on the f3 square. So bishop here, bishop g4. Quite low on time. I don't want to spend this much time, but I'm trying to explain my moves as well as I can. So I don't have pre-moves enabled. I should have enabled it before. Okay, so the queen moves in front of the d-pawn, which is not a good move because they're not playing d4 and opening up their bishop. I'm just going to play e6, a very solid move. We now have our bishop outside the pawn chain, so e6 is no longer blocking our bishop. Our bishop is nicely placed. It could go like here to attack the queen again and be on a nice diagonal. Now we have a nice and solid center, and I would say black is better already. Now that I notice, I actually missed a tactic. Oh no, I didn't miss it. So the move I was talking about is this. Okay, they move their queen again, but then there's check, and I have to go back. And then they take our pawn, and that's not good. So that didn't work. But let's say the queen couldn't check, then the queen has to move, and then we have a fork. So we gotta look at tactics all the time. Okay, queen moves there. I don't really see the idea of that move. And once again, the queen is misplaced, and they're just wasting time moving the same piece twice, and in this case 3 times. And we can keep attacking the queen and develop our pieces to natural squares. So bishop d6 completes the development of the minor pieces. So now we can castle and then bring the rooks into the center and just play a good game of chess. Well, white is gonna move his queen 4 times and then waste all the time. Okay, so I don't really understand that move. I can already start going after this pawn, and it doesn't quite have a proper follow-up after this. So I think I'm just gonna castle. It's a safe move. I don't see any danger down this file, so right now I'm okay with it. My next move is probably gonna be bishop f5, followed by knight here. Okay, so bishop here. It has eyes on the square, so that's kind of annoying. There is actually a threat. So right now my knight is defending the square. So you might say, I don't have a problem. But the problem is, white is threatening bishop takes, and after my knight captures, they can take my bishop and they win a pawn. And I don't want to allow that. So first of all, I can play this. But I think that's a weakening move because it destabilizes the knight and also opens up this bishop. Yeah, bishop d3 was an excellent move by my opponent. I think we should wrap around. So this disconnects the queen's vision over here. So if bishop takes, we can take with the king. And yes, they can play this. I think in the meantime, we can come up with a plan. I feel like bishop here is a good move. Yes, they still have this. This is quite an interesting move. I definitely have to review this. Opponent's playing really well. Okay, that is also a good move. Wow, I'm just missing all the moves. So with this, they play queen takes. And if pawn takes, then yeah, I think I have to go for this line and say I have this check. I think after bishop takes knight, I think I'll throw in a check first. Obviously, if after queen takes f6, if they take our queen, we're very happy. We're going to be up a piece in that position. But there's this move after that. I think I'm going to... Oh, actually, the rook on a1 is hanging, so they don't have time to take this. Yes, they're threatening checkmate, but we're threatening the rook with check. So I'm wondering if this is better than that. I think it's a good measure to throw in a check first. And if knight blocks, obviously we just win everything. And if bishop blocks, it's going to be mate. Queen blocks, then obviously the queen is pinned and also it's still mate. I think we're checkmating our opponent because I don't see a way out. And also it's important to start with check because if we take the rook straight away, the king can potentially run up and they're still threatening checkmate. But in this case, I believe it's forced mate because I don't see where the king can go. The king goes here, queen takes rook is check, queen blocks is the only move, and then we play queen takes d1 and it's checkmate. And if the queen goes here, queen takes a1 is checkmate in 1. So we have a mate in 2 here. And if bishop blocks, same story. We play this, and they cannot block because of the pin on the e file. So GG's to my opponent. I don't see what he can do. Maybe he's gonna play this, and after rook takes, he's gonna sack everything. Yes, it's not mate in 2 because he's sacrificing all of the pieces, but we're gonna get the checkmate. So queen takes a1 is checkmate in 1. Let's have a look at the game review. Okay, so we played at decent accuracy. Okay, so we played a 400. That's nice to know. 85 accuracy, I'm pretty happy with that. e4, standard move. Oh, this is actually a book move. Okay, that was an inaccurate move. What was I supposed to do? Probably this. Yeah, d4 is the best move. But it's okay. So the line I was talking about during the game is this, and after this, if they play move like this, oh, but my pawn is hanging. I got outplayed in the opening, I guess. This is what happens if you try to make theory without actually knowing what you're doing. I got outplayed by a 400 in the opening. Okay, let's go back to the review. Okay, they take, which is not a good move because we go into a better version of the exchange Caro-Kann. Usually they're supposed to have a pawn here, so it looks like a London system. And they have like a triangle. like not a triangle because this pawn is missing, but they have like pawns over here and they have their bishop here, and they develop all their pieces and they bring the knight out and then they prevent our bishop from going here with the move h3. I'm gonna show you guys this line later, but so yeah, we just develop pieces, nothing complicated. There are no threats for white, so we can just develop our knight, bringing it into the game, and we have potential ideas of this and this. Yep, so bishop here, developed our bishop with tempo, but according to the engine, it's not a good move. That was a good enough move. And yeah, this was obviously bad because that prevents the move d4, and also d4 because it allows the bishop to like be more free, also have some presence in the center so that I don't just play e5. Yes, d4 is not possible straight away even if the queen went here because d4 knight takes d4, but a move like queen e3 would have been much better. So let's look at the best move. Okay, queen here was the best. Personally, I would have played queen e3 to play d4, but I wouldn't play queen d3 because it just blocks the bishop. I don't think I want to go here with my bishop if I was playing with the white pieces. So I develop the bishop, attack the queen. Okay, they go here. It's actually quite a tricky move that I completely underestimated. I castled. It's an inaccurate move, not quite a mistake, but I wasn't happy with my play because I think they had this and white. What? I thought this worked. Oh, knight. Oh my god. Okay. Trying to go after this. Makes a ton of sense. That was a mistake. We take back with a pawn. Very important to not take with the knight because of this. As you can see, the evaluation is almost equal, like slightly better for black, but I wouldn't choose this position because of the snipers. White has a decent position, and also he's up a pawn. It can go wrong really quickly, so if I play moves like this, and if I will get like too careless, and like white is threatening checkmate, and also they're like permanent weaknesses. This bishop is a god of a bishop. Like that was a bad move because of this, and I thought this worked because after this and this, if the rook wasn't hanging, then this was a completely better position for white, maybe even winning, because they have pressure here and I'm just down a pawn. So, but in this case I was lucky enough to have a hanging rook in the corner and my opponent miscalculated. So we play rook e8 check, and now they're forced to block. It's mate in 5. Okay, they go for this, and we play queen takes a1, and it's checkmate. The bishop cannot block because of the pin. And let's look at the best lines. So this was the best move. Okay, they're just stalling the game for a bit. This is the best move. I don't know if I would have found this, but this looks pretty beautiful. So get the checkmate, and that's the end of the review. And also I'm going to show you guys the usual Caro-Kann exchange. So e4, c6, play this. After this, they play bishop. Yeah, so bishop here prevents bishop to f5. And after knight f6, they play h3 to prevent this. See, it's a book move. And usually in this position with black, I play g6. And I go for bishop f5 anyways, and I'll have pawns here. And I'll create this structure, which is pretty solid, and I jump my knight in. It has some great attacking potential on the g file. Like, if white castles kingside, then it's really bad for them because of the open file. There we go. Once again, I'm just scrolling through the moves. Yeah. Okay, so that was the end of the game.